Are you still worried about the Ripple versus C case? I don't know why you are. When do you honestly believe that Ripple would spend almost $500 million on Metaco and Bitstamp with the chance they could lose everything they have worked for? Me neither, guys, right? Enjoy the damn show. Exactly. I don't know why people are. I think the reason why people are so worried is because they're running out of patience, right? Obviously, we have been in this for years now. So everyone's panicking and all sorts of stuff on why this is taking so long. But remember, it's not unusual for these things to go on for this long, right? Other cases have as well. So it's not out of the ordinary, guys. Now, hey, Brad Garlinghouse, you said weeks, not months. On May 25th, 8 weeks ago, from that day would be July 20th, right? When FedNow goes live. So to keep in the weeks, does that mean a ruling will be next week, right? So to keep it in the weeks, does that mean the ruling will be next week, right? Not months, which is more than 2 months and whatnot, guys. Which is quite fascinating that it times with what now? FedNow, right? That's crazy, guys. It's funny because the charts from BZ Backer align towards that same week as well, right? Which is interesting to say at least, guys. Let's pay attention. But did you guys notice? You know, when you are worrying about the Ripple versus C case, you know what you should be worried about? Binance US, because I don't see a lot of people talking about this at all, guys. Can somebody explain this? Because I can't see any logic behind this. USDC went off a cliff on Binance US, with millions still moving daily. Now, who is dumping USDC for a 13% discount instead of transferring it elsewhere to sell it at full price? Now, I don't think people can withdraw their assets from Binance US. I think they're halted, guys. Right? People who can't pass KYC as well. Interesting. It seems as USDC is going down the drain, right? DPEG, not to mention, same as Tether on Binance US doesn't look good, right? 87 cents, guys. What's happening with these stable coins and certain crypto assets on there, right? It would actually bode well for Bitcoin. Tether is one of the last pillars that need to fall for Bitcoin to do something. Tether has been a regulatory sideshow and a sad, poorly told joke. But remember, without Tether, the price of Bitcoin will collapse, right? Exactly. So this is why they're all interconnected. When we said it a long time ago, guys, that when Tether collapses, Bitcoin will fall, is because of this right here. Tether literally props up the entire cryptosphere you are seeing today, right? Breaking 1 billion USDT minted at Tether Treasury. You can't make this stuff up, right? Out of nowhere, these people start printing, guys, again and again and again. Right? It send it straight to $50,000. But you know why this is so odd and fishy is because of this right here. Last time the United States government sold $200 million worth of Silk Road's Bitcoin, Tether printed billion of USDT on the same day. Today, the United States government is moving large amounts of Bitcoin again. Tether has printed another billion USDT. Coincidence, right? What are the chances of this, guy? So previously this happened. Surely it's just a coincidence that $2 billion worth of Tether was printed at what was probably the exact same hour on the same day the United States government moved to dump $212 million in Bitcoin onto the market at Coinbase, and half of that was USDT accepted in Coin's market, right? So it seems as in actual reality this happened. Silk Road Bitcoins moved to Coinbase and it started dumping. The price of Bitcoin started dumping, but then the price of Bitcoin started going back up again. No run-ups in price, possibly in preparation for the coming bad news. At the top of Bitcoin's price at 26K, government starts selling apparently at probably around 14 UTC when price is at 26K. 1530 UTC, 2 billion Tether, USDT minted 1 billion on Ethereum and 1 billion on Tron, right? Remember that Ethereum Tether can be used to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase. Bitcoin price minus 5.4%. Government is done selling, right? It's now weird, right? As soon as the government starts selling, Tether is buying it all up to prop up everything. It's the craziest thing, guys. So what are the chances of this, guys, right? Now, if you go here, this happened today. Silk Road linked Bitcoin worth $300 million moved by United States government on-chain data, right? So it seems as you guys can see, breaking from Attorney Jeremy, the Deputy of Justice doesn't know how to self-custody Bitcoin and times the market bad to boot. The Department of Justice gets Silk Road coins worth $305 million stuck in Bitcoin mempool, right? So there seems like hundreds of millions of dollars are moving, guys, right? And this is why Bitcoin has been dumping, possibly because of this sort of news, right? And probably they're going to dump. But so then this happened, and then guess what happened right after the fact? On the same day, by the way, right? Tether starts printing a billion USDT out of nowhere, right? We told you guys that they're propping everything up, guys, right? They're literally propping everything up. That's all I'm going to say right here. Now, if you check out this article, the DOJ is moving Silk Road Bitcoins around very slowly as it happens, right? Bitcoin that once belonged to the Silk Road is on the move. About 4 months after the U.S. Department of Justice sold millions of dollars worth of it on Coinbase, but who bought it back up again? Tether did, right? Tether literally is propping up Bitcoin. Binance is as well. They're all interconnected, guys. I promise they are. Right, not financial advice. A string of transactions involving Silk Road Bitcoin was waiting to be confirmed Wednesday morning. Altogether, 10,000 Bitcoin worth $300 million queued for standing by addresses tied to the DOJ. The addresses are directing the Bitcoin to unused addresses. The DOJ has shuffled its Silk Road stash before, so it's too soon to say it's intended to be sold immediately, right? But don't worry, guys. Tether has this money on standby, right? Just in case when they start dumping. Still, authorities offloaded 10K Bitcoin in March directly to US-based platform Coinbase for $21K per token, generating $250 million. Now, at the time, officials said they intended to sell additional 41,000 Bitcoin, which is worth $1.1 or $1.27 billion, seized from Silk Road hacker across 4 batches, right? So there are different selling pressures to be aware of, because we got this, and then we got, I forgot what else it was, guys, but we got something else, right? So, but I wouldn't be too worried because Tether will just keep buying it up. Bitcoin's worth 31K after shedding a few $100s after the word of transfers first broke, right? There you guys go. That's why it has been dumping, right? Because people know that they're going to start dumping, but Tether will be buying it up once again. This is the hilarious thing. The DOJ's pending Silk Road transactions are currently facing a confirmation delay, potentially caused by inadequate transaction fees, right? Guys, of course it's getting delayed, right? Because if Bitcoin is so bad, Bitcoin is horrendous, right? Once one had been waiting for 20 minutes at the time of writing, another one for more than 40 minutes with both blocks unconfirmed. This is hilarious. The DOJ appears to have only allocated a sum, only $8 in fees for these transactions. Bitcoin blocks are processed on average once every 10 minutes. And do you guys still believe BRICS will be using Bitcoin when they were eyeing Bitcoin, right? They got high fees plus delayed transaction times. It's game over for Bitcoin, guys. We told you guys, right? At one point in time, it will collapse, which will trickle down to Tether and all sorts of stuff, right? So when we talk about Bitcoin, the fourth industrial revolution has been created and pushed by the NSA. The Trojan horse was Bitcoin. People still think Bitcoin is for the people or Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin. Laughing out loud, right? The NSA is behind Bitcoin, guys, XRP and Tether, right? The reason is because of the SHA-256 in Bitcoin code, which will connect to this video right here. How Bitcoin was the experimental test coin out there and XRP is a real deal. But check this out, right? This is all a push towards the new financial system, but people got lured and baited.
People don't know what SHA-256 is, and so that's the algorithm behind Bitcoin's encryption. Now, SHA-256 was actually created and designed by the NSA. So, and not to mention, like you said earlier, Bitcoin was created in 2009, right after the 2008 crisis.
Yep.
So there's just so much data that is out there, if you get your hands on it and find it, that kind of indicate that Bitcoin is a government operation. And just as you said, it is to transition society into adopting and conditioning them to be to get used to digital currencies. People,
We have been saying this for years, right? All the videos I've created talking about this, guys, that they push out Bitcoin and people got very greedy because that's how human nature is, right? To get wealthy. But those same people pushed Bitcoin, and the motto was, we are getting away from the system. But in fact, they created it for you to do that, right? For you to push and accelerate their own narratives. And this will push us towards a new financial system altogether. Bitcoin will die, but it'll come back up, right? Now, SHA-256 in Bitcoin code equal the origins of SHA-256 can be traced back to intelligence services in the United States, namely the National Security Agency, the NSA, or the NSA for short. Engineers employed at the agency invested heavily in developing the algorithm and first published it in 2001. The primary objective of creating SHA-256 was to optimize hashing functions like MD5 and SHA-1, which were found to be vulnerable to several known attack vectors. Interestingly, SHA-256 is widely applied to cybersecurity, including digital signatures, password storage, and message authentication codes. It's also been employed in proof-of-work consensus algorithms used in blockchains like Bitcoin. For instance, Dave Visscher, a former NSA employee, created the XRP ledger way back in 1988 when they didn't even have had a name for the blockchain. Since they launched it with the name XRPL, it never got hacked nor being halted. XRP was made to become the greatest asset ever created. Don't be naive, open your eyes. Exactly, guys, right? This is why Bitcoin was a test coin. They pulled out, brought upon XRP afterwards, right? By the way, the foundation that these blockchains, that cryptocurrencies were invented or created was behind NSA or SHA-256, which is just crazy, right? People got lured, like we stated before. This world is heading towards a more centralized, but at the same time decentralized future, right? Not financial, so let's be prepared for this new world. But anyways, that's all for you guys. Amazing. See ya.